Hi guys. Okay, so I've been trying to do this video again and again and again, but I always keep on screwing it over because I always want to do my recordings. I look back on them and I think, should I have done it differently? And sometimes I'm either happy with it or I'm not happy with it. So I wasn't happy with my recording for this video, so I've redone another video for it, and basically this video should be my final attempt of doing this Kingdom Hearts game in question. Only because it's not difficult to explain, but there's a concept of time travel, and even for me, I've played the game and I've tried to understand it the best way I can, and it's just, not say it's not possible, but it's just annoying. It's the best way to put it. Anyway, so what game are we on about for this week in our countdown is none other than Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. This game came out on the Nintendo 3DS, and for many Kingdom Hearts fans, at the time before we knew what game it was, we thought that this was the fabled Kingdom Hearts 3, hence when we saw 3, everyone was spazzing out of control, going, oh my god, it's Kingdom Hearts 3! And then there was a D, so it's just like, 3D, of course it's going to be a 3D game. Well, I mean, the past game's been 3D. Anyway, getting sidetracked. Okay, so trying to stay on to the point here. What is the game about? Why is it called Dream Drop Distance? And what the hell's going on with the story? Okay, so Dream Drop Distance, it's got stuff to do with dreams and falling into the dream and somewhat clearing the distance of that, I guess. Or there's a distance between the dream realm and the waking realm. Yes, there is a dream realm and there is a waking realm. So in the realm of waking, which is where you and I are at this moment in time, if we are awake from our slumber, this is where we're at. So everything here is awake, everything here is alive, nothing is, truly that different. But in the realm of sleep, in the realm of in the realm of sleep, it's obviously going to be the opposite. You in the physical realm, which is the waking realm, have fallen asleep. And while you're in the sleeping realm, your dream state self comes into fruition. So you know what I mean is if, like, say, when you are asleep and you dream, basically your mind is remembering, let's say, events that have happened to you in your life personally. So taking it from a real life perspective, I could dream about myself waking up in my bed, going outside, and the world could be entirely made out of cotton candy. That could be a dream. Or another dream of mine would be, you know what, we're not going to say it because otherwise I might get demonetized. So yeah, so that's it. There are also nightmares as well in Kingdom Hearts 3, D. Kingdom Hearts 3, D. Just Dream Drop Distance. Anyway, so you have dreams, you have nightmares, and so on. Now, that is as far as I have understood it. To get on with, let's say, where we are with the story. So this will take place after Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts Coded. Why after these two games? Well, they are the most up-to-date, in a sense, of where we are in the story at this moment. So, after the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, Sora goes back to Destiny Islands with Riku and Kairi, while Donald, Goofy and Mickey go back to their world, which is Disney Castle. Now, in the span between, at the ending of Kingdom Hearts 2, so we're literally talking about the CG cutscene here, the moment that we see Mickey, Donald and Goofy, at that part of the scene at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, when they leave, Kingdom Hearts Coded takes place. So by the time, let's just say, they're done, Sora and Riku are discussing, about the stuff about what they've done, to an extent, and Kairi comes along with a message from the king. So that's when Coded is done. That's it there, finished, the message in the bottle. While in Coded, as I explained in the previous video, it's basically them reviewing the Jiminy Journal and discovering that people are hurting and that they need to be helped and saved. And that Sora is the key to actually getting this done. But it isn't just that. Also, Yin Sid, Mickey's teacher, mentor, master, says that we need to have new Keyblade Masters with new powers. So, they get two new Keyblade wielders, which are Sora and Riku, and they make them take the Mark of Mastery. And this is where basically a Keyblade wielder from, let's say, in an apprentice stage can rise up and become a master of the key. It grants you, let's say, you learn a new trick or you learn a new ability, and you are able to, show that you are a master in that given right. Anyway, so when Sora and Riku arrive at Yensid's tower, they are told that they are going to be partaking in the exam. And the exam is going to mainly take place in the realm of dreams, or the realm of sleep. So to put it in a blunt term, although I don't have a board here and I'm not very good at editing, imagine this side of the wardrobe here. So this entire panel, well, not say this entire panel, but let's just say this section here is the realm of light. You've got the section here which is the realm of darkness. In between this is the line which borders them both, which is the realm of in-between, or nothingness. And then somewhere in the ether, within all three of these realms, is considered the realm of waking. So this is the realm of where everybody is, in the dream, in between, let's say, the realms of waking and sleep. So if you were to flip this over, you will find that the realm of sleep is behind the realm of waking. So when you're in the realm of sleep, you're still going to have light, dark, and nothingness. It just means that these are the sleeping versions of these worlds. So, Yensid explains to an extent, not word for word, that he wants Sora and Riku to go into the dream realms and to basically wake up the worlds that are there. There are 7 worlds which are still asleep. 7 worlds that need to be brought out of their sleep so that the worlds in the realm of waking can be 100% whole. So the example that I can give to you is Traverse Town. Traverse Town was the very first world that we got to explore in Kingdom Hearts 1. Meaning, well, in the sense of it, when the world was taken by darkness originally, because it was, parts of the districts of that world were lost. So you would think to yourself, well, there was only 3 districts. Exactly. The other districts were taken. They were ripped out of that world. So where are they now? Technically at the time they were still trapped within the realm of darkness. Now after the events of Kingdom Hearts 1, so when you do complete the game, these things won't come back, because obviously at the time Nomura didn't think of the other districts. But to go along with, let's say, the lore, when the world was complete, Sora didn't have to go back. So the world in itself was becoming whole again. But there was one problem. The other districts were still lost. So, although the world was whole again, it's like, how can I put it? You can see a door that can lead to another room, right? But you never question, where does that go? Where does that door lead to? You don't seem to pay attention to it. It seems to be, it's there, but nobody's paying attention. It's just like a bricked wall. They just see a wall. They don't see anything else there. And in the Dream Realm, when Sora and Riku arrive in Traverse Town, which is the Dream version, the other districts are there, and there are more people in this world, because after the world was swallowed by darkness, many of the people that were swallowed were either sent to the Dream Realm for safety, or they were generally lost to darkness completely. Anyway, so the main premise is for Sora and Riku to unlock 7 keyholes of the respective worlds, and these worlds will be made whole again. After this process is done, both Sora and Riku will have the power and the ability to dive into somebody's heart who is in quote-unquote asleep and reawaken them, because that's the whole thing. So if, let's take when Sora is asleep in Kingdom Hearts 1, if we had the ability of sleep, we'd be able to dive into Sora's heart in a sense, and we'd be able to see his station of calling or station of awakening or whatever it is that's inside here that represents Sora's heart. Anyway, so that's the whole point. Now when Sora and Riku start off their exam, they are reversed by about a year to a younger year. So when Sora would be basically 14, Riku would be 15, meaning that they are both how they would have been like in Kingdom Hearts 1. So they go and start their exam. They meet Ursula from the Little Mermaid's world, because she's appeared, and she's like a bit of a boss for them to fight off against, to get them into the realm of sleep. So both of them have access to their weapons, their Keyblades, and when they both fall into the waters, they activate the portal that will take them to the realm of sleep. So they're not drowning, they are literally diving into the realm of sleep. However, a mysterious figure is watching from a distance. Now, Riku subconsciously does something, but we won't say what that is till the very end. Now, time travel is also a thing in this game, and it's somewhat annoying, and it's a little complex. So, we'll get to that in a second, but here's the thing. So when Sora and Riku arrive in the Dream Realms, they're not physically, like, standing next to each other. Sora is in one part, Riku is in another part. And to put it in a much more better perspective, let's say my wardrobe again is Traverse Town, hypothetically. The whole world is whole from what you and I know. However, Sora is trapped on one side, Riku is trapped on the other side. And what this means is that the world, when Sora and Riku went into the Dream Realm, they managed to split the world into two separate kind of like, not multiverse, but two universes. And in Traverse Town, these universes are overlapping, meaning that Sora can see Riku, but he can't have like physical contact. It just phases through. They can't hear each other either, so they have to rely on a third party who can see both of them at the same time. And that person is known as Joshua. Joshua is somebody from the world ends with you, and as far as I understand him, he seems to be this angelic, godly being, so he's able to perceive not just one universe, but another one. And he kind of roughly explains this to both Sora and Riku when they're standing in the same room as each other, or in the same place. Anyway, so both Sora and Riku travel to the respective worlds they have to go to, so that's how it goes. Now, the thing about it is that there is a drop gauge in the game, which means that if it reaches 0, either Sora or Riku will fall asleep, and then you play as the other character. So if you play as Sora, and Sora falls asleep, Riku wakes up, and you play as Riku. That's generally it. Also, there are the villains of the story are none other than the organisation. They are back. However, this is the true organisation. This isn't the first 13 people. These are the actual main villains of the story of Kingdom Hearts in its entirety. So one person, known as Xehanort, or to put it bluntly, young Xehanort, is the one who's causing a lot of the mischief this time round. So it's still Xehanort, but this is when he was, what, I would assume in his late teens, or maybe early teens. And mainly what he's doing is he is antagonising both Sora and Riku at certain points of the game. He does this in the beginning, in Traverse Town. He does this in, I think, so Traverse Town, there's the Quasimodo world, which is the Hunchback of Notre Dame. There's Tron's world. I think he does it in a few other worlds as well. I just can't think of them at the time. But he constantly appears, so he's reoccurring. But he's not a boss, at least not yet. So what happens is eventually he brings back people that Sora and Riku have respectively defeated in their own right. So in Sora's case, Xemnas comes back. In Riku's case, Ansem the Secret of Darkness comes back. Also Xigbar makes a return, along with Syax, which is Isa, and also Master Xehanort himself. So how it goes about is this. Sora is basically the key to the organisation's plans, apparently, this time round. So I am skipping quite a few things out of here for the sake of time, because trying to explain each world's current event, why it took place, how it took place, will take a very long time to do, and I'd have to do multiple videos, which is why we're kind of skipping a huge chunk. Anyway, it is somewhat important, but at the same time, do you want me to discuss the worlds in its entirety? I would, but it's a headache. So, we are roughly, I'm going to say, at the point where we're coming to the end of the game. So we're going to start off from the world that never was. This world makes a comeback in this game, because we only saw it in Kingdom Hearts 2, and it returns in Dream Drop Distance. Now, Sora has been somewhat hijacked from the exam. The mysterious man that we saw at the very beginning and that I spoke about is none other than Ansem, the Secret of Darkness, but reduced to a heart. This was his heart form. He is still a heartless, but this is him reduced to a heart. So just nothing more than just a a floating spirit. So this is where the time travel part comes in. So how does it work? Well, as far as young Xehanort will tell us, this is how it worked. So, years ago when young Xehanort was young and he was on Destiny Islands, because he is an islander, he always wanted to go and explore other worlds. He wanted to see more that was out there, which, you know, that's not bad, that's actually a good thing. And then a mysterious person approached him, off telling him about his future, what will happen and everything else. Now imagine if you're in his position, you go, who the fuck are you? Seriously. And then the heart version of the Heartless then shows young Xehanort, proving the fact that he is him. Well, no, actually he doesn't prove it. He tells him things and he just believes it instantly. Because at the time he didn't know who the fuck this guy was. Anyway, he bequeathed young Xehanort the ability to travel through time, meaning that he was able to go from one point to another. So, the point of it is this, is that you must be able, in order for you to time travel, you must sacrifice your body to do it, meaning you must give up your physical form. So, once Ansem the Seeker of Darkness done this, he was able to travel through time and meet up with his younger self. Now, this is the reason why this is important, is this, that you can only travel to destinations where you have another version of yourself waiting. So, say if I were to cast away my body and I was reduced to a heart, I can only travel through time where another version of me is waiting. So, if I wanted to go back to when I was in school, that is feasible. I could do that. So, as long as there's a version of me waiting at my destination, I don't think it has to be like a physical destination. It just means that I have to exist in that timeline, so I have to be there. So if I were to reverse time from where I'm standing now, for one where my house isn't necessarily going to exist. So I'll probably have a hard fall considering where I am standing, because I'm on the top floor here. But if, let's say, time travel helps out in, let's say, actual physical travel from one point to the next, then I would much rather be closest to where my younger self is. Anyway, so he gives young Xehanort the power to time travel. Now, here's the thing. If you have to sacrifice your body and become a heart to do this, and he gives up the power to somebody else, young Xehanort now doesn't have to obey that rule. Meaning, he is able to travel back and forth through time, in a sense, as long as he sees another version of himself. Physically. So, he can move forward through time and he can move backwards from time, and he can perhaps stop time from happening as well, because this does happen during his boss battle. Now, he explains this to Sora to say that you can move through time, but time itself is immovable, meaning you can't force time to go any quicker or any slower. Well, technically you can, but only through spells, but you can't necessarily command time to stop, although you can do it with magic, but it's not stopped indefinitely, it's still going, if you know what I mean. So if you cast the stop spell, yes, you've stopped an area you've trapped an area frozen in time, but you're still moving, so that time is still consistent, if that makes somewhat sense. This is why time travel hurts so much. Anyway, so young Xehanort's mission was to go and collect different versions of himself throughout time. So this was Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness, Xemnas, even Xehanort counts. This is the Master Xehanort we're talking about. Even Xigbar, Syax, Vanitas. So it gets to that level of why he's recruiting so many different people. These are going to be vessels for Xehanort's new organisation. Anyway, now, the other scary thing for Sora is this, is that because he's been hijacked, they've had to put him into a secondary sleep. And this is where things can get more interesting for the realm. Talking about sleeping in a sense, so when we are awake, we're above a certain line. So I'm going to again use my wardrobe as an example. So let's just say where this lightsaber is where the realm of waking is. So anything above here is safe, it's fine, it's cool. Now below that line is the realm, between that line there, that's the border between the realm of waking and sleeping. Now, every night when we all go to bed, or unless we're insomniacs here, we cross this border and we start to dream. Now, I'm going to assume that there are different types of people that sleep. So you've got very light sleepers, and they will constantly stay near up the border of the sleeping area. So they won't be fully asleep. They are fully asleep, but any sound or noises will make them go, "Ooh, I'm up." But then we got your heavy sleepers, your deep sleepers. So we come down probably quite far away. So we're not as close, but we can be if we wanted to. So say like here, for example, is quite deep to an extent. So any sound or noises that you hear, it's not going to bother you. You're asleep. Don't worry about it. So let's just say that's where Sora and Riku are in respectively. That's where they're at. Now when Sora is hijacked, they still kept him in his sleeping state, meaning that they took him from the sleeping realm and brought him back into the physical realm. That's very complex in itself. So when they done this, they had to keep him in, so they tried to induce a secondary sleep. Now when they done this, this is where Sora began his descent deeper. So meaning that it's now getting very hard for Sora to wake up even if he wants to. So he encounters Zigbar while they induce the second sleep. Sora then falls again, and he meets with Zigbar. Now, during his time of falling again, he actually encounters, I believe, a few people. He encounters Riku and Kairi in his dream, who then transform into Terra and Aqua, while himself turns into Ventus. They then walk away. He also then encounters Roxas, and he also encounters Naminé and Shion. So these are people that are connected to him, and Roxas even reminds Sora that it has to be you to save the world. It's your job, not mine. I thought it was my job, but it ain't mine, it's yours. You are the one who has to save everybody. Which is like, cool, okay, fair enough. Anyway, so when Zigbar then does kind of say it was very difficult trying to put you in a second sleep this time, we almost wake you up. But hearts are a funny thing, aren't they? I mean, they always lead us wrong all the time. And even Sora says, well, you know that, right? Because you have a heart. Now, here's the thing. A heartless and a nobody, when they are, let's just say, separate, obviously they're two individual beings. A heartless will take a heart and keep it for itself to consume, while a nobody lacks a heart and can never have one. That is a lie. A nobody can actually regrow a heart of their own if they had time. Zigbar even states as such, it's about time that you noticed. Because Sora could remember something that Roxas done for him while in the dream that he was having. Roxas shared with Sora all of his memories and all his feelings that he had at the time when he was in the organisation. He laughed, he got angry, he cried, he grieved. All these emotions can only come from a person who has a heart. So why lie to the organisation members at the time that they had no hearts? Zigbar says as such for the reasoning. Once we had Kingdom Hearts, we were going to hook all the members up to that Kingdom Heart and make them one person with a single mind and a single heart. Translation. We were going to turn all the members into Xehanorts. Now back in my 358 by 2 days video, I said that only 2 people knew the truth about what the organisation's real purpose was. And this was Zigbar and Xemnas. And the true purpose was to transform all the members of the organisation into Xehanort. So that was the real intention. And Sora even does state to say, that's nuts. You betrayed your friends and lied to them to turn them into different people. And then the middle question then comes about, which is, but aren't you scared of just becoming somebody else? Me? I'm already half Xehanort. And that kind of does, say, okay, if you're already halfway there, then why not complete it? Even Xemnas does kind of lament about the organisation's thing, and he says as such that we realise that not every member of our organisation was up for the task. And that, you know, it kind of stimulates to when they fought Sora and Riku, and technically maybe Roxas if you want to count as him as well, where there were certain members of the organisation that are now going to be in the new one. So this is for people from the old guard gets reintroduced to the new one, and they will have Xehanort's heart and mind however it goes. Now, they realise this. Xemnas did too, and Xemnas doesn't really care because he's still technically Xehanort's nobody, for crying out loud. So, it's just annoying as such, as far as I could put it. Anyway, so while Sora is still borderlining, let's just say, dropping, not borderlining, he's actually dropping deeper and deeper into the sleeping realm, or dream, should we put it, is that when he finally beats Xemnas, Sora has actually gone now to the point of no return. So consider where you can't see any more down here, that is the point of no return. If you're down that far, you cannot come out. Meaning that you're in the realm of darkness, you're in the dreaming realm's version of the realm of darkness, is the best way to put it. So, young Xehanort appears again, and he tells Sora as such to say, I know you think you've won, but really you've just made it too easy. We wanted you to do this, and we've been keeping our eye on you. Because Sora was given something without him realising. On his clothing, he had a huge X that was draped across his chest area on his clothes. And the sigil, the X, let's just say young Xehanort and all his other versions know where exactly Sora is. For one reason. They already have 12 members sitting in the organisation chairs. Now, they needed one more member. Now, they couldn't go after Riku because he was too resistant to darkness. They couldn't go after Roxas because he became too aware of himself and returned to Sora. So, who could we use as our 13th member? I got it. Sora. Well, we'll use Sora as the 13th member. That will work. Yeah, it did. Sora then is now too tired. He's worn himself down to nothing, and he's going to sleep in the folds of darkness. Yep, great. He's ready to become a vessel for Xehanort. And eventually Sora does actually ask the question before he, passes out. He says, well, what's going to happen now? Since, Sora is, in a sense, accepting the fact that he can't do anything. And, well, Xehanort says this, I actually don't know at this point. Everything I've told you, up until now, is all I know. And the future is the only thing that lies beyond my sight here. But we're all here, and we're all waiting for you. Literally, we've all organised this huge party just for you to join us in our ranks and become our 13th Seeker, or to put it in a broader term, my vessel for darkness. So, good night, Sora. Takes Sora and places him in his 13th chair, which ironically was once Roxas's. Anyway, Riku, on the other hand, eventually gets told that something is wrong, and that he arrives in the organisation's world, and he sees Sora in the dream state. But then Sora disappears, and then the world transforms into the real world. And Riku then realises that he has to save Sora because he could hear Sora calling out to him. Anyway, so Riku then goes over to try and save everyone. Meanwhile, the former members of the organisation have already come back from their destruction. Don't worry, they're not the villains as of yet. Only some of them have come back fully, others are still knocked out and unconscious. Lee, who is actually Axel, then decides to go off and, save anybody who needs to be saving, because, that's his job. See, he goes over to Disney Castle because Mickey's gone back there because, Maleficent has returned. And she's threatening Queen Minnie and such. Lee helps him out. He uses the power of darkness when he shouldn't have. He then goes back to Yen-Sid's tower. Yen-Sid then explains to him, what's going on. Lee says he doesn't care, he wants to help. And then Yen-Sid can detect that Xehanort has used time travel. He's pissed about that. And he needs Lee, Mickey, and Donald and Goofy, in a sense, to save Sora and Riku. Now, Riku encounters the organisation, and the organisation's plan is kind of revealed that they need to have 13 Seekers of Darkness, and 7 Guardians of Light to make the real Kingdom Hearts appear and have the Keyblade, which is the counterpart to that. Anyway, so a boss battle ensues between Riku and young Xehanort. Riku wins. Master Xehanort appears. Again, he explains everything to everybody. Threatens to turn Sora into another vessel, but he fails on doing that. And I think... So he fails on doing that. Lee then appears. He rescues Sora. Everyone's kind of like at a Mexican standoff here, but there's no time left. Everybody returns back to their original time, in a sense. And just trying to think now. That will be it for Dream Drop Distance. Riku saves Sora from his nightmares. Riku is made a Keyblade Master. Lee then summons his own Keyblade to prove the point that he's actually a Keyblade wielder and he was going to come in and save the day. And, let's see, Sora then travels back to the Dream Realms to thank all the Dream Eaters, because they are basically Sora's allies at that time. And then Riku returns back to Yinsid's Tower with Kairi, because Kairi is also going to be trained in the way of the Keyblade. And that is it for Dream Drop Distance. Finally, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. However, not fully, meaning that there's only Kingdom Hearts Key to go over and 0.2 Birth by Sleep. We're nearly there, everybody. So excited. But at the time of this video's recording, actually, which is quite funny enough, Kingdom Hearts 3 has actually revealed its cinematic intro to Kingdom Hearts 3. So I highly recommend that you go and watch it because it's very good. There's both the English version and the Japanese version, so it's up to you which one you want to listen to. And the Face of My Fears music is very good. I think it sounds very nice. I can't even... My brain... Bleh. Anyway, so I hope everybody is, you know, happy in the sense that we're getting ever closer. Like, I can't contain myself. It's not that long from now. But another thing before I forget. So, I know a while ago I mentioned something about the whole Starlight Keyblade thing code giveaway. I know I mentioned it, I'm still going to do it, and I would still recommend that, well, I can't even remember the method how I said it. I might actually have to, how did I say? You know what, I might just say it as such very quickly. So how do I want it to go? Right, so you need to have a PS4 if I remember correctly, because I'll only give out a PS4 code. I won't give anything else out. So you have to have a PS4 first of all to have this Keyblade that I will give away. The next thing that you have to do is you need to prove to me that you do have, in a sense, the game. So fairly simple. If you own a smartphone, like I do right now, all you have to do is you have to get your smartphone, and if you do have this, you'd want to go and download yourself the PSN Messenger app. It's basically a counterpart to the PlayStation app. Click on the Messenger, and basically you want to find me via just searching up my name. So if we just go GM-65, I doubt it will just show me, but here we go. So that's what you want to mainly do. You just want to find that. Now, once you do that, all you then have to do is send me a message. And the message will have to be you sending a photograph of Kingdom Hearts to me. So all you do then is that you want to click on the messenger, and you want to be able to take a photo. So that way it gains access to your camera. You snap the picture, and then you choose to send it. So once you send that to me, I will go, okay, now I know it's you who has, sent me the code. Not the code, he has sent me a photograph of the game to me, and that's how it will be. Now, I understand that there will probably be maybe the odd 1 or 2 people that might send it just straight away. Like, will send more than one thing. Now, it probably will be first come, first served basis, because that's how I'll have to treat it. But in order to make it maybe a bit more fairer, in a sense, there will be a question that I will have to ask you and you will have to answer. It won't be necessarily hard, but it will be... it's not going to be a riddle or anything, I just need to think of the question. So, I could have it mainly featured maybe around a character, or... The question has to be something of interest. It has to be important. I think I've got it. So my question to you, in order for you to gain the Starlight Keyblade, is this. Who was supposed to receive the Kingdom Keyblade originally? Who was the one supposed to have the Kingdom Key? Now that's the question. There's only one right answer that I'll accept, and it may be a surprise. Now, it'll be a surprise to the people in question. So what will happen is this. So once you've sent me a message with the photograph of the game that you physically have, which is a PS4 game, I will then give out to you the code. So basically, I will snap a picture on my phone to prove to you that this code is genuine, and I will send it to you via the messenger and obviously say congratulations, well done for you, and enjoy the game. I will also be doing the live stream, and I will be mentioning your name obviously on the stream to say well done for you, congratulations, I hope you do enjoy, and that's what I'll do as a nice gift. However, I probably won't be able to fulfill it if, let's say, the code that I'm given is identical. If I have, let's say, 2 identical codes, because if that somehow randomly happens, then I can't necessarily give the code away. So I don't want people to give their hopes up, but I'm pretty sure, obviously, I've got one on my phone and one on my tablet, then I'm pretty sure these codes are unique and they are just significantly going to be for that person in question, or at least I'd hope so. Anyway, I think that's it. So answer that question on, who was it that originally got that Kingdom Keyblade originally? Who was it supposed to go to? Now, if you answer it correctly, keep it to yourself if you know the answer until, obviously, the time that you send me the message. Now, if you send me the message too early, it's not going to necessarily bother me if you do. So if you do send it to me early, well done you. You've basically now confirmed the fact that you will be getting the code. I will still congratulate you, but I won't be able to give you the code until the code becomes available. So, I can take a look now for you just to say where we are at. So, start Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, or Union Cross, I think that's what it's called now. Turn that down because it's too loud. Now, I haven't done this for a while, so there'll probably be a huge, downloads. While that downloads, so what I'll have to do is I'll have to keep on top of this, in a sense. So yeah, so what I will do is wait for this to download, I guess. There's not really much to talk about, is there? I could just go straight into Union Cross now, since considering that this is the game that we're going to be talking about later on, but I'm thinking, in order for me to explain this, I have to play a bit more of it, don't I? Because this is a good idea for a game to allow people who, let's say, can't afford a console to play a Kingdom Hearts title. Although I make the argument to say play on a Nintendo DS. But, yeah, so this is a fascinating way to learn somewhat the prehistory of Kingdom Hearts. So, like, before the war, during the war, after the war. Which is what this game does take around. Or at least the first game, at least. Yes, every single update there has ever been has constantly changed the title of this game, and it's a headache. I say time travel is a nuisance. This itself can be a nuisance. There is actual, a different form of attacking and everything else. It uses medals, movement points, and it's just... it's a pain. It's the best way to put it. It's a pain. It's a bane of my existence. Everything else. You completed all the goals. Issue your product code now. Blah 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 blah. Okay. This isn't supposed to happen. Not yet. Congratulations on completing the goal. You can now issue a product code. I can now do this. Can be attained per account. Please select. Yep. Alright. Okay. Oh. Hold on. So, player ID. So, does that mean issuing a PlayStation 4 Europe product code? The product code cannot be reused. Proceed. Okay, so player ID. To avoid accidental issuing of the code, enter your player ID and tap OK. So, I'm going to assume by ID it means my ID for Kingdom Hearts key. So, alright, 4, 3, 4. Yeah, that's as far as I'm going to tell you people. I think that's it, isn't it? So, So, yes, yes, yes. Done. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to do it. But what we will do is this. Alright, I've saved the photograph. So, I can't do this now, can I? Oh my god, it's actually real. It's actually happened. We've got the fucking code. Merry fucking Christmas! Oh yeah, that means... That is it as well. I need to know where you guys are. It's not just that you have to be a PS4 user. Are you in Europe or are you elsewhere? Are you like in the US or anything else? Because different codes will have different meanings. So my phone will basically be, well, for me, it's my code. So if you want to have the other code, you're going to have to message me straight away. Do it now. Like right now. Message me now. If you want this code right here, right now, then that's it. It's gonna be so amazing. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Oh, shouldn't get like happy. I'm done now. That's it. We're not gonna be talking about anything else. Goodbye.